So in spirituality, we are basically, during the path, playing with views. And this is a very important point to realize. First of all, what do I mean by views? You could also say it is about your ontology, what you basically deep down believe about reality. And even though you may not be aware of what your own view on reality, your own ontology is right now, you still have one. And you cannot have no view on reality. If you say, oh, I'm just going to sit here and not think about anything and just look at reality directly. I just want to see what's real. I'm just going to look at what's true. You're still employing a view. You cannot get out of it. And so, first of all, when you embark on the spiritual journey, one of the first things that you should become clear about is your own view, your own ontology that you are starting out with. What is it basically that you believe about reality? What is it that you believe about yourself? What you perceive? What your life is? What time is? What space is? Like, basically really become clear about anything that you perceive. What is the framework that you use to view those things? And really what we are doing in spirituality is very likely changing the view that you use to look at reality. And one of those views that is very likely going to change throughout your spiritual journey is the view of self. So what you regard yourself to be in this world. And this doesn't really matter where you're starting out from. Some views may be closer to what is helpful in spirituality than other views. Still, if you haven't really been coming into contact that to a large degree, your view of self will definitely change. But, and this is the important point, and it is relating to my last video, is that even though we are using a certainly more helpful view in spirituality, we have to become very aware of the fact that even those new views that we are consciously trying to create are in themselves not real as well. So, and this might be at first a little bit confusing. So you may think, okay, why should I really learn and practice a new way of seeing reality when in the end I'm still going to tear that down again? Why should I spend so much effort and time to really change my paradigm of what I believe reality is? Why should I basically install a whole new operating system in my mind only to then get rid of that as well? And this question is very it's pointing in the right direction, and you should to a certain degree be aware of that, but at the same time not let this question lead you astray from actually developing those alternative views. Because what a major shift in view on reality can actually teach you is that reality isn't a certain way. Reality isn't any particular way. And you come to see that whatever you are experiencing is dependent on the way that you look at it. It's dependent on your own way to perceive, and really being able to change that from the ground up, and then having more than one view available to you to look at the same situation this can have a profound impact of what you believe reality is. So whether you are developing the sense of no self in meditation, whether you are going to develop the insight into impermanence, this is ultimately going to show you that reality is empty of inherent existence. It's empty of one particular set of conditions that is defining it. It's undefinable. But you're not going to get there by reasoning. And this is really important because the thing that you're looking at includes thought itself. So you couldn't get there by thinking. That's really important. You couldn't think this through. And the very simple thought experiment you can do in order to show you the limits of thoughts is to just look with thoughts for the answer of what thoughts are. And then you will just come to the conclusion that there will just be more thoughts. Any answer that you can come up is just another thought. And by definition, the answer to what one thing is can't be the same thing. You can't say, I'm going to explain this other thought that I just had with a new thought that I'm creating afterwards, but that's just, again, a thought. So what about that thought? What about that thought? It's a never-ending circle. So in order to investigate not just thoughts, but reality as a whole, you first have to transcend this usual way that you use to explain reality to yourself. And this can come about through several different practices, many of which I have discussed earlier in other videos. So really keep in mind that all you're doing in meditation and spiritual practice can be viewed from the perspective of creating alternative views. You are just playing with how to see the moment, how to see the experience that you're having. And some major shifts that you're probably going to go through is from seeing things as permanent, as lasting, as having inherent existence, which is the usual way you view things when you come to spirituality, to viewing them as fleeting, impermanent, not having any inherent existence, being free of any way they could be, being free of anyone who perceived them, having no relationship, not being placed into object-subject relationship, not arising in that field of conceptuality. So be aware of this, and it's probably going to make clearer for you what you're actually doing and not getting stuck anywhere. Because if you in spirituality develop certain views, it's easy to view them as more or even ultimately real, because they just inherently are going to feel better. You're going to develop views that are much, meant by views, I mean your whole paradigm that you are operating under day to day. You're going to develop those that are just going to feel so much more compelling that you even think there's no more reason to question those. Because they are actually truer in a sense. They are creating less friction within your experience. They are bumping into contradictions less often. So they actually feel smoother on a very direct moment-to-moment experience. But yet, investigation has to not stop there and go further. So I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any questions, post them in the comments down below. I will always answer them. If you have maybe further specific questions, I'm happy to help you personally. You can check out the link down below to my website and book a session with me there. And also, yeah, thank you for everyone who has been donating to this channel. It's really, really helpful. It's supporting my work greatly. So thank you for everyone who is doing that. And with that, thank you for watching. See you in the next video. Bye.